Okay, so this time what we're doing is painting the bottom part of the windowsill, and it's going to be the same idea as the top part. So we have raw umber, black, ivory black or any black, titanium white. Oops. Okay, let's take that.
I thought we used titanium buff as well. Maybe not.
Is it titanium buff?
I've got titanium buff and white. But
That's what I thought it was too.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as
it matches, right?
it at the end, because we are going to be glazing. If we weren't glazing and this is the color that we're using, then yes, I would be concerned. But because we're glazing, we're okay. This is not the final color. So we tape the lines with masking tape, which makes it much easier to paint a straight line. And fill it. Now we just make sure, we want to make sure that the bottom part of that line is darker than the top part, because otherwise it'll be like a flat piece of stone. And it's not flat. So I'm just going to take a bit more of the...
All four colors then?
No. This one is not being used. This one, I'll remove it. So you don't get confused with that one. And I don't dip my brush in there by mistake, because this is what's going to happen.
Sorry, what are you removing?
I'm just removing this.
What is it? Raw
It's
umber?
burnt umber. It's burnt
Burnt
umber. I just put it there by mistake.
So it's titanium, white,
Raw umber,
and black.
raw and black. All right, there we go. 3 of them. There. Okay. So now I just mixed the same colors, raw umber, touch of black and white, and I added more raw umber to this to do the bottom part, to paint the bottom part of that windowsill. Oh, geez. Hold on. To give it that roundish kind of color. But usually when I'm doing something like this in my paintings, when I'm painting windowsills and window frames, and I try to finish the same layer, the layer I'm using, the colors I'm using, I try to finish them in one sitting. And then I come back the next day and I add highlights or, anything that I want to add at that point. Because this way, I don't have to mix it again. And I end up with different colors. This way, if I do it in the same, like a la prima kind of, I have the same colors evenly everywhere. Okay, let's see. It doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of a suggestion of a bottom part slightly darker than the upper part. Let's see. All right, that's good. So now I taped the second part of the windowsill, and I'm just going to paint it one color. It's raw umber and white. Okay, just one color for now. And then I'll adjust if it needs to be lighter, darker, when I remove the tape. Okay.
You're so neat, Leo. Mine looks like it's done by a 2-year-old.
No, it's just because, you know, when you do something like this where you have a wall or something a straight line, architectural detail,
that's
you want to
true.
be a bit more
To be a
careful.
bit more precise,
Yeah.
I find some brushes work better than others too.
Which ones?
I find some brushes work better than others.
Oh, for
and
sure.
some-
Yes,
This
absolutely.
one's a journey or trial, just trying to find the ones that work best.
Absolutely. Yes, they do. Right. So there is one more to do, and then the rest is with masking
about it,
tape, and the
yeah.
rest will be freehand. This one here, the one, the bottom part here. I'm just going to do it since we are recording. And this one down here. And should be okay. And after that, we should be good. All right, raw umber, white. So just put some water in here so it's not very thick. And I'm using a bright, small bright. So to camouflage all this kind of neatness in there, I'm just going to add a tiny bit of highlights here and there. This, as you can see, I am not really going into too much detail here. This is just the bottom part of the window. Just darker line in here using raw umber and white, but mostly more raw umber using, and I am actually as well using a bright small brush. So just to give it a bit more of a separation between those. And I'm not using at this point masking tape because I've done this already. So I have the line. I'm good. There. Okay, that's good. That's all. That's all we need down there. Now, again, raw umber and white, and I'm just gonna darken a bit this part. This is the bottom of that wall coming out, or that windowsill, just the bottom part, because we're looking from down up. So. Okay, good. Okay, so now I'm going to highlight where the sun is, the strong sunny parts with white and a very small amount of raw umber. It might look too strong, the white, but that's okay. We're going to be glazing with yellow ochre after. So we're not going to see this. It's not going to be looking as white. But for now, let's just make sure that we have a really strong, nice highlight. If you look at the window in the reference, you see almost like a strong yellow where the light is. Actually, I'm taking white mostly right now. Okay. Same here. Because it really it dried very dark from last week. So especially here, windowsill, I mean, window frame. Gonna let it dry. Now, let's take raw umber and white, or and let's highlight this detail.
Leo, can you move the camera? Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, and since I'm doing this, at the same time, let's take same colors. I'm using a flat brush. Doesn't have to be too detailed in here, it doesn't matter. Because it's behind the shutters. So. Oh. So this is right now yellow ochre and a bit of raw umber in it. So what I have is a glaze. So my color is not, it's transparent. Even when I pick up the color, see how transparent, can you see what I'm mixing? I can't see if you're seeing. No? Oh, geez, how come? Is it, no? Oh yeah, duh, it's right there. Okay, so yellow ochre in a very small amount of raw umber, but it is a glaze, so it's transparent. And I'm gonna come here with my brush, try to remove some of that paint so it's not heavy. And you'll see in a minute what, if you find that it's covering too much, then glaze, put some more water in your color. It shouldn't cover, it should be transparent. Where you see now that where there is a highlight, you can still see it highlighted, but it's changed color. Let's put some water in here. If you find that when you're putting the color, it's beading, you know, it's a kind of looking, there are some beads in there and it's not sticking to your canvas, that means you put too much water. Okay. And I'm not covering completely. I'm not, I'm going across with my flat brush and just giving it a weathered look. You can dab on it if you want, just dab.
So it's just yellow ochre and then a little bit of raw umber,
Yes,
no whites.
no, because yellow ochre is a bit kind of, I'm just toning down the yellow ochre so it's not too yellow when you put it on your.
I actually like the effect of this.
You like it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's cute, huh? It's nice.
kind of brings it out a little.
And it kind of blends in with the wall a bit so it doesn't jump.
Yeah, it's giving it sort of an antique look.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to make it look like it's not, it's kind of old and
Yeah.
needs
Worn.
a coat, yeah,
Character, it has
coat
character.
of paint in there. And you see, it's not, we're not done yet. You'll see, we're gonna do a bit more. Okay, so this is looking good. This is beautiful. Now, let's do the bottom part. Same idea. But you see how when you glaze, whatever we put a highlight, you can still see it. And we're going to enhance the highlight in a minute. It's not going to be just that. So where we have a strong, strong highlight, we're going to enhance that once we're done with the glazing.
So you're covering every surface.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm dabbing. I'm not covering. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to dab to make it look like an old kind of paint. Because if you cover the whole thing in one brush stroke and make it even, then it's not going to look like it's weathered. All right, layer here. Okay, now I take raw umber, and raw umber is a glaze again, mixed with a bit of, now the ratio is the opposite. More raw umber, less yellow ochre, and it's still a glaze. So I'm going to go back here. Okay, we need a bit more water. It should be too dry. Not everywhere. You don't want to put this everywhere.
You know what, my wooden thing here gives us sort of a different effect. But
It's good. It's nice on wood. It's actually very nice when it's done on wood.
my bottom still I have to redo though, because even with the tape, it messed up. It seeped underneath the tape. So I don't have straight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it. Okay.
You're not doing around the window frame with that, right?
No, there's no window frame.
Around the window where the curtains is. You're leaving that the
No,
same
no,
size.
that's different. That's wood.
Okay. Oh, right. Of course. Yes.
Yeah, that's wood. So I don't have to do that.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, it's just kind of blends in more with the style of what we're doing.
Yeah, it's very weathered looking.
Yeah.
It's seen some things.
That's predominantly raw umber, very little yellow ochre, right?
Yes. But it's a glaze because raw umber is strong, eh?
Yeah.
So if you find, sometimes I put the brush stroke and I find that it's too strong, I wipe it with my finger. I wipe it a bit if I find that it's too much. Okay, now that I've done this, it looks too strong on the monitor. When I get, it's softer here in real, it's softer. So I'm going to take that now, yellow ochre, and I'm going to put white in my yellow ochre. Or we could put, we'll see, let me see, let's try. If white is good, then it's good, it's fine. If not, I might have to put a bit of yellow in there. Actually, it's not bad. So where there is a strong light from the sun, I'm using yellow ochre and white. Okay, I'm gonna move to this part.
Is this a glaze as well?
No, this is not a glaze. This is
Okay.
thick. This is thick. Okay, I'm gonna try, I think I might need a bit of yellow because it's a bit too, so this is just cadmium yellow light. So I'm using yellow ochre, white, and a bit of cadmium yellow light in there, just to get that sunny, strong sunny part. When I add white, what happens is when you add white to yellow ochre, it just kind of, yellow ochre becomes subdued, becomes too blah, and it doesn't show the strong sun. So what I'm trying to do right now is just add a bit of yellow so I can get sun, a sun feel, strong, sunny. See, like this right now, this is kind of better up here because that one down here, it's dry and it's dry, muted kind of dry. It's not colored. So it's not, it doesn't show me sun. So now I'm using white with yellow, cadmium yellow light, and yellow ochre. That's better.
Are you taping?
Yes.
Because I'm behind.
Yes, I'm taping. Thank God I'm taping. I remember.
Can you rewind?
So now I'm gonna do the same. It's yellow ochre, white, and cadmium yellow light. And I'm gonna wipe my brush. And I'm gonna come here because there's a sunny part right there. So I'm gonna put a bit of sunny highlights. It's very strange how this is, the light on this window and the top part is not highlighted, just kind of very small area where you see the strong sun hitting that area. Right, now. This white in here, I'm gonna try using white and a bit of yellow in my white. Still strong white, like white, and it's not a glaze. And just put yellow in it, but more white still. So it's the white is not white, it's a yellowy, very kind of a pastel yellow white. And I'm gonna put light in here. Again, highlight this area. Yeah, that looks much better. where the highlights were in white, done in white, I'm adding a pastel light yellow. It looks white on the monitor, but it has a hint of yellow in it. Cadmium yellow light.
Boy, it's really windy out there.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the trees swaying.
Trying to fix my camera.
So fast, Lael.
Fast? Yes, I know.
You're fast and good.
I know, I'm fast because I do these things all the time. That's
You
why.
gotta slow us down for us little grasshoppers here.
Okay, so I'm mixing right now yellow ochre, white, and cadmium yellow light. So I'm just going to come here and just add a tiny bit of highlights where I lost these strong, beautiful highlight just to keep the shape, because you lose the shape sometimes when you lose your highlights.
Yeah.
I'm just putting the shape back in certain areas, not everywhere. And there we go. Bit here. And you know, it makes it look a lot more interesting when you have
Well,
those.
you're a master at using light, I think.
That's
Like
just plain white, is it
light.
layout?
Pardon?
Plain white?
No, it is
Sorry.
yellow ochre and a bit of cadmium yellow light. So
Oh, okay,
it's mixed with yellow ochre as well.
okay.
Okay, I think that's, I just lost some of these highlights when I glazed it, and now it's back.
Subtle.
Yes, it is subtle actually. This is this blue is cerulean blue and black, titanium ivory black, and it's a glaze. So I'm glazing right now. So what we want is we want a grayish color, so it doesn't take over and
Yep.
make the yellow and all of the other green the colors around look out of place. So you want it's the same kind of harmony in the colors that we're using, and at the same time, same kind of value.
So what was the second color? Sorry, I missed that.
Like,
Pardon?
It was cerulean and what was the other one?
Black, touch of
Oh,
black.
cerulean.
Black to make my cerulean dark or grayish. Okay, so we did this, which is a nice kind of glaze. I'm making this part tiny bit darker, where the window or the curtain is behind that frame, because that frame is gonna cast a shadow over this. So this part is cerulean and black, and it's not as there's more black in here. There's a touch of cerulean, but there's more black. And there we go. This is cerulean in my black. And I'm gonna come here. Okay, so that's giving it depth. and it looks like it's behind a frame. I'm gonna do it a tiny bit more here, not as much as the top part, but just a tiny bit more. So it doesn't look like it's on the same level as the frame. It's right behind it, and that frame is casting a shadow over this. Now, I'm going to take cerulean blue again, black, and less black, okay? More cerulean, less black. I'm going to take white, touch of white, and see. Just put it in. Good. That looks good. That's like a grayish, soft blue.
Okay.
It really went dark, eh?
Wood. I'm gonna have to just do it very lightly because what it's doing is it's starting to remove the paint under it.
Okay, so you want to make sure that your color is dry. Is that
Yeah.
what's happening? It's lifting? Okay.
It's lifting the undercolor, so.
Okay, so now what I do is I take my cerulean blue mixed with a bit of black in it and white, and I add white, right? So it's more like a light grayish blue. And I'm gonna come here, and there's a highlight, like the paint, the curtain is higher, where there's a strong highlight. I'm gonna show that highlight because I lost it, right? We lost some of these highlights. So I am going to start highlighting softly some of these, because when the highlight hits, this is when you're going to see the color. When it's in the shadow, you don't see it that much. Okay, just a bit of more water in here. And that, what we did at the bottom as a first layer, is a very good guide for us to see where we're going to put the highlights. Remember, this is not this curtain is not the focal point.
It's 3:05, Leal. I'm gonna have to sign off,
Okay.
but I will look at the tape. But it's
Okay.
really coming along, eh? It's beautiful.
Yeah. 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 We're
Bye,
getting.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye, bye, Jeff. Bye. It's pretty.
Mm.
And that's cerulean blue and white, or is there still a little bit of black?
No, there's a bit of black in there, so it's like a toned down kind of cerulean blue.
It's pretty. It pops the blue more with the highlights. Yeah.
Now, what I'm doing, because it's kind of it's not really I am not glazing, but it's not heavy. It's not like very heavy color or opaque. What I'm doing is I'm softening some of those not folds, some of the folds. If you find that they're like too heavy, too strong, like this from here to here, that is strong. So what I'm going to do is, it is a color that is transparent. It's not heavy, it's not opaque, but at the same time it's there, but it softens. You know what I mean? It softens that heavy, strong line, dark line. We can add another detail. And I'll show you. We can take darker blue, which is cerulean blue and black. And we can, you don't have to do this, but I'm just going to play around a bit. I'm just going to put a pattern over
What pattern? Mm.
leaves,
Leaves?
leaves, small leaves, floating. It's a glaze. I'm glazing a pattern of leaves over, so just a little bit of a interesting kind of detail. And because it's folds, it's a lot of folds, so we don't have to show those leaves in detail. It's just a suggestion, but it adds a bit of movement.
For highlight, you used black, blue, and white. You put little bit highlight in between.
Yes, yes. The highlight I put is it's actually blue and with a bit of black in it and white.
Okay.
Yes. Those leaves are just random leaves. It takes away from the folds too, so the folds don't look too strong and prominent in there. This pattern that I'm adding just makes the leaves, the folds softer.
Looks good.
So I glazed, I painted the folds, then I glazed it with another color, so I don't have to do it. It's softer, because if you're doing all of these lights and darks in creating the folds in blue, or using blue, dark blue and light blue, it's heavier. But when you glaze, when you create the whole thing in one color, or let's say like we did raw umber and white, we create the folds, the shape, and then we highlight. Then we glaze, then we highlight a bit where the lighter blue is, not much, just a bit. Again, we don't want it to be kind of this curtain, the focal point. After we glaze and we put the highlight, we put a pattern over it. Same, it's the same idea. Glaze a pattern, a beautiful pattern over it, or a suggestion of a pattern there. It's easier to do it that way. Now, if we really want to go into detail, like making it into more following exactly what's happening. You see where we have a highlight there? We can add that strong highlight in here in light blue. And where there's a highlight right there, we can add a bit of that highlight right there in blue, light blue, lighter than what you see. So let's, oh, it's okay. Are you okay if I'm recording right now, but are you okay if you need to leave, that's okay, no problem. You don't have to, it's being recorded. That's white cerulean. I'm putting a fresh coat of white right now and cerulean. And I'm going to take, again, black, mix it with my cerulean. So to make the blue gray, more grayish. Now I'm going to take white, put it in. But this white is lighter, like a strong white. So let's see if this is going to be enough. Yeah, I think a bit more. Usually when you have a strong highlight, this highlight does, it cancels a lot of details. You don't see details in that area where it's really highlighted. So I'm going to be very careful. I don't want it to take over. I just want to show a suggestion of a strong light in here. It's optional. You don't have to do it. I'm just showing you. It really doesn't have to be done that way. My paint is again, it's more like a glaze. I will adjust this if I find that it's too much, and I'll adjust as well the pattern I have over. And take again some blue and black and a glaze, and go over where I lost some of these patterns because of the highlight. I'm just adjusting because, you know, with acrylics, it dries darker. So my highlights are drying darker. I'm just waiting, and I'm adjusting my highlight.
It looks very gray on the screen.
Gray. It
Like
is.
when-
Yeah, it is. It
Blue
is.
gray.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's not. It's not. It's not a vibrant blue. It's not. It's muted. Like I'm finding here, those dark folds are too dark right here. So I'm softening this with some glaze of blue and black. Don't bring your folds too close, your highlights, sorry, the highlights that we're putting, I'm trying not to bring them too close to the edge. I'm trying to keep this edge darker, if possible. Okay, good. Now, one more thing that I'm gonna do, and you might find it odd, but I think it would be good. I'm doing the same idea, cerulean blue, black, and white with that, so a gray blue, and it's more like again, a glaze. Wipe my brush, and I'm gonna put some of this in here.
Oh,
You're putting blue in there now?
Yep, gray blue, glaze.
links it, yeah.
I'm glazing this gray blue in here because when you look at it, first of all, I mean, it just brings this blue over to the rest of the painting, not only here. And it is a weathered kind of architectural detail. So putting, oh wow, putting blue in there is a nice, it just kind of softens all of what we put in there as far as pattern or texture.
It adds continuity, yeah.
Yeah, that just kind of takes it connects, the whole thing is connected.
There's two.
I'm putting some and wiping it. All right, I think we're good. We don't have to put too many in there. It makes it much more interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty. Mm.
Again, one more. I'm going to be using blue, black, touch of white. So it's not a dark blue, it's a soft, light blue. And glaze, it's a light gray blue. Glaze that. Not too much this time. I'm not highlighting too much. Don't highlight it too much if you know we're putting it here. You'll see, you're not going to see too many of these things once we start putting the greens. You know, the green, the lantern, the leaves, but it will just, the whole thing connects.
I imagine you'll put blue in the lantern too at some point.
Yes, yes, we will. We will put some blue.
Glass.
It's subtle, okay? So whatever you put in there is subtle. So if you find that it's too much blue, just wipe it with your hand, with your fingers. Wipe it off. And it doesn't matter, because if it's too much and we go overboard, that's okay. What we can do is just go back, put some of the yellow of the wall on again, and it'll be fine. But that is all connected now. This blue makes sense now. It's not just the blue of the curtain, it's all over in a subtle way.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to see less of it once we start putting detail for the flowers with the lantern and the leaves.
Right.
The more detail we put, the more of these layers we're putting, the deeper it looks. It doesn't look, it looks like it has depth and depth of color, depth of perspective, everything. So